Ropa-pa-pa-pa-pa, ropa-pa-pa-pa-pa, fire. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have you. As you can see, sis is looking lovely. Sis is looking gorgeous. Sis is looking like a whole Chinese. Sis is looking like an August baby because I am the August baby. Guys, anyway, without wasting any more of your time,
I'm in the mood. Woo! Sleep is for billionaires. Woo! Yeah, I'm in the mood.
Before you get this amazing content, why don't you go ahead and like? Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? Yes, I'm talking to you. Subscribe. Anyway, guys, as you can tell from the title box down below, today we're going to be talking about growing and more along the lines of leaving a mark. So what is to leave a mark? Well, to leave a mark is to do something that will be remembered or that makes one famous or successful. To leave a mark is to do something that is very important or meaningful. Gandhi once said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So that is one way of leaving a mark. One of the ways to leave a mark is to set high standards. Let others always see what you're doing and let them see that you're giving it your best. So to introduce this topic, for us, I'm joined by a very wonderful brother, friend, someone that I really look up to a lot, and his name is Kudzai Sibanda. Kudzai Sibanda is no ordinary young man. When I look at him, I see someone who is determined, someone who has got a vision for his life. I see someone who has left a mark wherever he is, and that is why I thought he is the perfect person to actually just talk about leaving a mark. So Kudzai Sibanda has definitely left a mark at the University of Namibia. To only mention a few, Kudzai Sibanda has been part of the Student Representative Council, and he has served as the recreational officer and also as the UNAM president for the year 2019. And not only has he been part of the SRC, but he has also served as Mr. UNAM. Yes, he is also a model. So look at that. Isn't that just wonderful? Our very own Zimbabwean has been there doing the most in a foreign country. So Kudzai, without wasting any more of the people's time, the floor is all yours. Take us away.
Hi guys, thank you so much, Ro, for having me here. Before I even start with this video, I think it would be a great injustice if I don't actually wish you happy birthday to birthday month, and we really appreciate you from this side. Thank you for always sending love and light our way. A couple of weeks back, you asked me a very important question along the lines of how does one actually leave a mark wherever they are? And it got me thinking. It allowed me to go back into a bit of a self-reflective mode and to just go back to the drawing board and kind of analyze why and how I do things, the reason behind why I do things the way I do things. Yeah, that's how you say it. Perfect. So I don't know, for you to understand why I do certain things or how to leave a mark, you have to understand the backstory, the background as to what happened. And with me, it was a situation of born in Zim, raised in South Africa, and attended or completed my undergrad degree in Namibia and doing my doctorate in the UK, hopefully. Yeah, so I moved around a lot, and even the way we left Zim, it was very unprovoked, no warning shots fired. I had just been selected to play in the first team, 6th batsman. I still remember, the memory is so vivid in my head because cricket meant everything to me, you know, and swimming I was first team, athletics I was fast. And then I got home and my mom was like, get inside the car, we're leaving. And we left. And the next time we came to Zim was after 10 years. So that was that. We lived in almost every province in South Africa, 8 high schools, 5 different primary schools, 2 different primary schools in grade 5, 3 different primary schools in grade 7, skipped grade 6. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because when you jump schools as much as I did, it almost teaches you one or two things about consistency and pattern. And for me, it was a situation of I went to one school and I would end up popular, second school popular, third school popular. Then I sat down and I was like, okay, so what I did in school A, I did in school B, I did in school C, the result was the same. So it's a practice that one can doctor, you know. And that brings me straight to the question with that being raised. Now that we all have context, we're all on the same level, you've got background. But yeah, so for me, it was a situation of, I'm just going to take you through 4 steps that have worked for me, wonders. Never discount what I would like to call the first day of school. In the adult world, it translates to first impressions. I feel like as a society, we've become so desensitized to the word first impressions. We think, yeah, no, I don't really have to make a killer first impression. Along the way, I'll get comfortable and I'll zone in. Don't do that. The first step, the most important thing is the first day of school. The day when you walk into school, before they introduce you to class, before you walk into the room, you need to zone into your energy. Who are you? You need to actually define that for yourself. Modeling has taught me one thing, that before you walk on a runway, you need to be in touch with the spirit animal. Are you going to be an elephant? An elephant is slow, steady, defined, articulated, detailed. Are you going to be a lion? A lion is more authoritative, you know. All of those things matter. And for me, my surname means lion. So and my totem is also lion. So for me, it's always been about authority and power and dominance and alpha male. So that's the energy that I told myself I need to emanate when I walk into a room. So even before I open the door handle, in my head, I've rationalized myself with being a lion. And that's the power of the first impression. Because when you walk into the room, that's how you get everyone to pay attention to you. Then comes the second step. And the second step is what actually happens inside the room. You need to understand that once you're inside the room, always try to be the 11th man. I did modeling. When I did modeling, I think I modeled in Namibia, South Africa, and Nigeria. And there was a time when I was modeling in South Africa. And being from SA, we obviously have our celebs, or my favorite celebrity, or the one I've always wanted to meet. And for me, that was Kudzai Sibanda. And just after we were done modeling, I remember all the models flocked to her because she was the MC at that event, and they were taking pictures with her. And I was like, Kudzai, resist the urge. Do not take pictures with her. Because the entire rationale behind that is, if you're in a venue and people do not know you, the power of mystery really works. You know, you do not want to go from being an equal to being a fan. There's nothing wrong with being a fan, but for me, it's a rule that I've always had for myself. So I always want to be the 11th man. So everyone flocked to her and they took pictures with her, and I just told myself I'm not going to do that. And it got harder to resist my own urges to go take pictures. I really wanted to, but I knew that's not the way to get it done. And they used my phone to take the pictures. So I was like, okay, cool. I stuck around at the event. Everyone else left, and it was me, my designer, Kudzai Sibanda, her partner, and a couple of other people. Well, about 6 or 7 left inside the room, and we're sitting there and we're talking. And the difference now is, because I didn't take that picture with her, I wasn't a fan that stuck around. I was, who's that guy inside the room? I was the 11th man. And because of how I had carried myself, and because of the way I played myself inside that room, I was able to talk to her for a good 1 hour, 30 minutes. And she was there, she was listening, she heard my whole story, and now I can actually say I know Kudzai Sibanda personally. We connected on a personal level. Had I taken that picture, yeah, I think that story says itself out loud. So that's the second step, being the 11th man. So point 3 is something that's very dear to my heart, because it comes from a place of it took a lot for me to get to that point where, and I cannot enunciate this enough, but do not look for validation. You understand? Don't be that person. If you are really intentional about leaving a mark wherever you are, be it with a big charity organization, or being in the SRC, or sports, or anything, whatever it is, you need to leave looking for validation behind. You cannot conform and leave a mark at the same time. Those two things, they do not work together. People around me and people that spend time with, people that know me, will actually tell you, if there's one thing we know about Kudzai, it's the fact that he doesn't give you space to validate him. Before you tell him, Kudzai, you're a good model, he's going to tell you he's probably the best. I know I'm not the best model. I know there's someone who's better at it. But within myself, I have that thing of I'm the best. And I have that question of, okay, if I'm not the best, what's the gap? How can I fill the gap? What can I do to make sure that I become the best? And that's the energy that I always have within myself. And that energy comes from a place of, I'm not looking for validation. You need to have that. And don't mistake this for arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's just being very innately confident in what you do. And because you're innately confident in what you do, it means that when you know you sing and you know you're a good singer, when you sing, you're not waiting for someone to say, hey, you sang really well or you're a really good singer. Take the compliment, don't be cocky, but don't depend on the compliment. You understand? Because if you depend on the compliment, then there you are. You're inhibiting your growth. You're taking the oxygen away from your ability to leave a mark that people can talk about. People aren't going to sit around and talk about the girl that was waiting to be told she looks beautiful. People are going to talk about the girl that walked into the room wearing a red dress and said, I'm hot and I know it. You understand? So take that point, zone in, and yeah. Like I said, the very most important step or point or to end all of this is, and it might feel like I haven't put them in order or they're not coherent, but it will make sense when you sit down with yourself and you actually understand that, okay, these are the things I have to do before I get there. The last thing and the most important thing is finding your niche. Once you find your niche, that one thing that you're really good at, all you have to do is practice on it, work on it. What can you do to become the best in that one thing that you're really good at? For me, it was in high school. I knew I was really good at public speaking, but I was very careless in it. Like, you go into a competition, you win second place, third place, you never write a speech. I was comfortable in my niche until I met a teacher who was like, listen, Kudzai, we're going to leverage this ability that you have to public speak. And it was because of meeting someone like that that I was able to become, I was the best in my province. And I went as far as the UK to represent South Africa in public speaking, because in my head I was like, what can I do to become the best? And when I got to the UK, it was, I think I won audience best choice speaker and came third place. Not very proud of the fact that I came third place, but hey, I traveled, right? So that's what it's about. It's about finding that one thing. You're like, okay, good, I'm good at writing. Don't stop there. Ask yourself, what can I do between how good I am and what the best looks like? How do I leverage that gap? And that's what it takes to leave a mark. You need to actually be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You understand? Like my pastor always used to say, if you want to walk on top of water, you need to leave the boat. So you need to leverage that. Okay, I'm good at speaking. I'm good at poetry. I'm good at singing. What can I do between being good at and being the best at? And it's as simple as that. That's what I do with anything I touch. Once I knew that there was no other competition I could enter in public speaking, I wasn't even allowed to enter any public speaking competition in South Africa because they said I had international credentials. So every competition I went to, I was asked to facilitate or just officiate and stuff like that. Once I knew that, okay, I've leveraged my niche, I was able to dabble into other things such as modeling. I was able to dabble into other things such as music. And within those industries, I really did everything I could to become the best. So that's what it is. Find your niche, leverage it, get something else, leverage it. Before you know it, they're asking you for an interview. Bye.